So I get asked this question, Dr. Ron, I cannot code, I cannot code. Can I work in the health tech? So I'm like, hey guy, relax, relax. There are lots of opportunities for you if you can't code in the health tech space. I mean, everybody doesn't have to be a coder to work in the health tech space. So if you're looking to pivot into health tech and you're worried that you probably need to learn how to code, this video is for you. So you might just want to stick to the end of the video because I'll be sharing about 15 different job roles that you can comfortably do without learning how to code in the health tech space. Right? So, hi everyone, my name is Dr. Rod. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're new here, I talk about everything healthcare, helping people, transition in their careers, basically things around healthcare. And if you're a returning listener or subscriber or viewer, thank you for guys for sticking around. I love you so much, right? So let's dig into the conversation. Now, when you talk about health tech, I like dividing it into two broad roles. You have the coding roles and the non-coding roles in the health tech space, right? Coding means you're the person writing the Python codes or the Java or the C++ or whatever language you're using. So you're involved in like what happens at the back end of the software or the solution, how it functions and all of that, right? And for some persons, this might look too much to handle, or I mean, it's not something they're really ready for. So, what are the options for them? So, that is where the non coding roles come into the picture. You don't need to know what is Python self to be able to do these jobs, right? So top of the list is project manager or project management. You don't need to know what is Python or SQL or Java to be able to be project manager in the health tech space. So project managers basically manage projects. They see projects to their end from beginning to end, costing, budgeting, making sure timelines are being met, and all of that. So that does not require you to know how to code. So that's a good opportunity for you to consider. There are a lot of project manager roles globally for healthcare, health tech, IT projects. So I think maybe the most important thing is you trying to get a certification or qualification in project management. There's a PMP, there's a Prince 2, you have the Agile, Scrum, depending on what area you want to play in the health tech space. So it's for you to look up the relevant qualifications or what your job requires and get the certification so you don't need to code, right? So that's number one, project management. Number two is UX designer or user experience designer, right? So UX guys, they are basically the design. So they are worried about how does this work, what's the experience, what does it feel like, and they don't code. So this is another opportunity if you're watching to get into health tech as a UX person. So it's just to look up how do you get into this. Maybe I'll do a separate video on break it down how to get into UX design properly, in the health tech space. So it's something we're considering. The next one is a UI designer. UI stands for user interface. So the UI, I mean, some people lump it together, UI and UX, but actually, in the real sense of things, there are two different job duties or job roles, really. So UX guys, they're on their own. The UI guys, they're on their own. So UI is user interface. Me, I'm using this kidney. So what's the interaction looking like? So that's what the UI guys. So I think I'll also do a video on how to get into UI. So you just want to subscribe to my channel so that when that video comes out, you'll be the first to know. And the next one is a product manager, right? There's a lot of confusion between project manager and product manager. They're actually two different roles. So sometimes, I mean, you see a software as a product. So apart from managing the project, somebody owns that product. So that's where the product managers come in. A step further, there is even product owners. So I mean, job plenty where, right? So the project managers, the product managers, they all have different roles to play in the life cycle of every solution that is being built in the health tech space. So being a product manager is another job opportunity. So you might just want to check it out, what it takes to become a product manager. Then you talk about data analysis. In my last video, I think that's one of the skills I talked about, being able to analyze data. So being a data analyst doesn't allow you to or require you to code. It's just you need to know how to use Excel, you need to know how to use SQL, write the queries, you need to know how to use data visualization tools like Power BI and Tableau. You know, just key in your data, your graphs come out, and you do your reports. So you don't have to do the hard coding to be a data analyst, right? You now talk about technical writing. So technical writers is a thing. So it's, I think it's a form of medical writing. So where you do the whole high level technical language and writing and all of that, regulatory writing and all of that. So it's a thing. So you don't need to know how to code to do that. I think one of these days I'm gonna bring a technical writer on the show to talk about what it is, what their day to day looks like, and how exciting and interesting it is. And I think they're also well paid to technical writers, so it's something you might want to consider, right? Then the next is quality assurance testers, call them QA testers. For you to test a software, I don't need to know how to code. So basically, it's you checking if it does what it's supposed to do and all of that. So you don't need the line of code to do that. The QA testing. Then sales and business development. Some persons might want to say, okay, I want to just get into sales and development of, sorry, is it, yeah, sales and business development rather, of some of the things they produce. I mean, after I design a product, somebody needs to sell it in the market. So that's where the sales and business dev guy is coming. So I don't need to know how to code to sell something in the market, or negotiate with customers or clients and all of that. So sales and business development is another good area to pop in if you're looking to get into health tech. Another one is marketing and communication. So this, I think this also closely ties into sales and business development, but there are clear lines between both of them, marketing and comms, right? So it's another area on its own. How do you, for example, let's say communication, we're writing newsletters, we're using social media, we're doing traditional advertising, we're doing paper and all of that. So it's somebody's job to worry about that in the health tech space. I mean, companies, you design a product, so how do you communicate what you're doing to the audience? So somebody has to be in charge of that, and they're not coders, right? Then the next one is customer support. So customer support, you're more customer facing. It could be, taking calls. You could be a customer relationship manager. You don't need to know how to code to do that, right? Then another one is a health policy analyst. So health policies, I mean, every time policies are being brought out every day globally. So depending on the country where you are, in Nigeria here, or in the UK, or in the US, Canada, wherever you are, there are usually health policies that are popping out every now and then. So they're usually people who are analysts to look at these policies at, do they make sense? I think even before the policies are even brought out, or implemented, people actually analyze and give feedback to the makers to say this doesn't work, or it doesn't make sense and all of that. And they don't code. It's just for them to do a lot of mental work, analysis and all of that. So that's fine. Then another one is clinical research. One of these days I'm going to take time to break clinical research down. But the thing is, clinical research is so wide and huge. The other day I was talking to Dr. Uche on one of my live sessions, who is a physician scientist, and I think she in global medical affairs. So it's huge. It's an entire world on its own. So I'm gonna consider doing an episode on clinical research, so you don't need to know how to code to get into clinical research. And there are other several roles in clinical research, like being the principal investigator or the clinical investigator, that's the PI or the CI. You could be the clinical data manager, you could be the clinical research associate, you could be what's that word? There's one I can't remember at the moment, but it's actually wide, right? So clinical research is a thing, so you can get into it, because again, some of the health tech solutions that are being designed are closely tied to research. So are they safe for humans who are going to use them. So that's the researchers coming rather. Then you can also decide to be a health system administrator. I don't need to code to be an administrator. I probably decide to, go do an MBA or an MSc in healthcare management or something, and I'm good to go. So it's just for you to, manage the system, make sure operations are working, functioning, and the whole organization is moving towards its goal. So I don't need to know how to code to do that. Then you can also be a public health educator. I mean, you don't need to write Python to be able to educate the public on maybe certain health issues or problems and all of that. And the last but not the least is to become a health data specialist. So I think this also closely ties into like the data analyst, but probably just niched down to health data. Proper. So these are like 15 job opportunities or job roles you might want to consider or look up in detail if you're looking to get into health tech and you don't have a coding background or you don't even have the time to start coding or learning coding. Because trust me, learning coding is a tedious process. But again, it's rewarding. But if that's not you, then you don't need to break your head doing that, right? So yeah, you could just go, check them out on Google. What are their opportunities and all of that. So hopefully in some of the upcoming episodes, I'll bring different persons in these areas to come and talk about what they do basically to give you guys better context as to what happens in some of these job roles, right? So if you found this video useful or if you enjoy the content, what I've been talking about all this while, please don't leave without giving me a like, subscribe to the channel and share the channel with your friends. And until I come around your next episode, I still remain your host, Dr. Ron. And again, don't forget to look at some of my live section because that's where I do all my live interviews with different guests to talk about different issues. So you won't see those interviews in the video section. I just want to put that out there, right? So thank you and bye for now.